Alrighty-o. Now it is May 6th of 2024. For whatever strange reason, my son is home with his wife. And it's like on a Monday. I don't know why. Anyway, Andre went for a walk. So, they're out of the house. Right, because you know, you make YouTube videos, Mom. You have no friends. All you do is make YouTube videos. You know, whatever. Blame it on the nonprofit. It is what it is. Okay, so I had a title for this video and now I forgot. Yeah, basically. But it's in regards to a comment from Deb, who is a subscriber to my channel. She's been around for a while now. Vlog Nana. Anyway, she came in and she posted on my last video. This is how I'm going to start this subject here, okay? I posted my last video update, Changing Lives, May 3rd of 2024, okay? And that's in regards to Lady Jane doing her community activism within her village with a vulnerable family. A mother with children who lost her husband. Okay. Anyway, because I'm kind of going out of my way to say, right, you know, here's an opportunity for people besides myself to make a difference in children's lives, mainly, with the, you know, connecting adults, right, families, okay, because we're dealing with two families here. We're dealing with the 11-year-old who lost her mom and is looking after two of her siblings, and she's 11, and then we're dealing with the mom with her children who lost her husband. And because we're in Uganda, which is a totally different economy than in the Western world, like the United States of America or Canada, you know, the politics are different. And the level of poverty is different in terms of lack of safety nets. All right. So anyway, or limited resources to those safety nets. Okay. Anyway, Deb, Vlog Nana, came in yesterday and posted, and she's referring to Lady Jane, okay? So I'm going to read what I wrote, and then that's going to be the subject of what we're going to be talking about here, okay? In this video. And then we're going to bring in little Peter with the last video that Lady Jane posted in regards to when she was working on the roof, and after she paid the workers, bought the metal sheets, bought the poles, bought the nails, right? There was a little bit of leftover money that she purchased some more food and bought the buckets and the sheets, and that's pretty much it. The money is gone. All right. But, you know, the woman still needs assistance because she's not getting it from her federal government. She's not getting it from the municipality of the village in terms of, I don't know how their politics, I don't know how it works out there at this point. Okay, so anyway, let's just get back to what Deb had to say. This person's on the Nigerian scammers list, Judy. 7 of them in 4 countries. Just be careful. All right, now I reposted, right, because, you know, I do that as backup, but we're going to go to her original post, which is right here. You can see that, okay? And then I came in and I said what I had to say. Now, I did mention before this all happened to Lady Jane that, you know, don't be surprised if people don't start accusing you of scamming, because first of all, you're sitting up in Africa, and, you know, that's a big issue with online scamming, right? When it comes to, what do you call it? Just online scamming. Now, normally, a lot of that online scamming is related to lonely people looking for love online, thinking they're falling in love with whoever, and then start forwarding their money to their ones that they fell online with, because, you become emotionally attached through, communicating through Gmail or whatever mail service that they're using and stuff, right? And then the scammer, plays on other people's loneliness, I guess you could say. And that's how they're, and it's a million pushing into $1 billion industry, right? And I mean, it's not just a problem with Africans scamming Westerners. It's everywhere, really. But they have quite the little network going on. All right. So anyway, I mentioned that to her. I told her to be aware of it. I asked her to keep receipts, right? Preferably list what she's spending in her description box to build a level of trust for people like me that, one, are doing the donation, and two, for other ones coming in looking, they want to know, right? So that if they decide to make a donation, they can expect to see a similar result and then feel satisfied that their money went where it was intended to go versus being scammed. Or taking half the money, spending it where you're supposed to, and then keeping the other half for yourself, which is another form of a scam. Okay. That's just the reality of the world, right? All right. So anyway, this is my first response. I'm not sure who she's talking about, so I say, who are you referring to? Lady Jane is in Uganda. She's not in Nigeria, but that's not to say that this scam, looking for love or whatever, isn't situated in other countries besides Nigeria. And this is what Deb is trying to point out, right? And for what she has bought and done so far seems reasonable in comparison to the money I sent her. I am not asking for receipts. I myself am not asking to receive receipts through email, but I have asked her to post, some sort of a list of her expenses within her description box, because I think it would only aid in her charitable endeavors to attract more people to participate. Plus, it reassures the donor that their money is being spent wisely. Hold on a minute. Amari's starting to fuss. Okay, so now keep in mind, Amari's there kind of bouncing around on his own here. Andre's not here. So I'm going to have to, go check on him every now and then. All right. Now, also keep in mind that Lady Jane is basically just a young woman. I don't think she's that old. I'm not going to put an age on her outside to say that she's either between the ages of 23 and maybe 28, if I had to put an age on her, which isn't very old. Doesn't have a lot of life experiences, especially when it comes to the politics around charitable acts. Okay? I mean, you don't have to have a legitimate foundation, society, nonprofit, whatever you want to call it, in order to be charitable, right? But, the deeper you get into that rabbit hole, then yeah, sooner or later you're going to have something legitimate in terms of a registration number to say that you have the right to do that. I don't think Lady Jane is in that position right now, so that's why I warn her to protect herself. So that if you're getting a large donation, not once but twice and perhaps more, then as soon as the money comes, doesn't matter. I told you, $10, $200, $2,000, $2 for crying out loud. People start getting up in arms. Okay, where did you get the money from? How are you spending it? And they start accusing you of this and accusing you of that. And even though maybe that $2, $200, $2,000 came from your own pocket. It's your money. Nobody gave it to you. You're giving it away because you're trying to do something for whatever reason, and people are still questioning it, right? And accusing you that that's not your own money, that you actually stole it from somebody else. I'm telling you, people, I've been through it all, okay? I'm 50 grand in debt because of this foundation, right? It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about human nature. All right. So I gave her, the first time I donated $200, and then when she went to go pick up the money, she had to pay, like through Western Union. She went to pick it up, she had to pay. So right there was an expense. So anything that she paid out of her pocket to pick up that $200, she should automatically get back. Okay? So you can take off $7 off of the 200, I don't know, we'll just say $7 to pay for to be able to even get the money. So $7 is gone right off the top. That's an expense. She needs to write it down, right? So that, you know, at some point, unless of course it starts and stops with that, and it's not an issue. But, you know, I mean, like, I think this is where she has to figure out what she really wants to do with her life, right? And before I go too far down into this, I want to bring to attention to other black YouTubers on YouTube who are completely 100% basically self-centered to do YouTube videos for self-gain purposes. Right? Okay. So anyway, let me just finish with this. So, and for what she has bought and done so far seems reasonable in comparison to the money I sent her. Right? I didn't expect miracles with a $200 donation, but then on the other hand, I don't know what the economy is like and what $200 can buy me as a donor, because I'm donating to the kids in the family, right? I'm not donating per se to Lady Jane as I am to, here's some money to help feed the kids, here's some money to help the mom. Second donation was specifically basically for the roof, and anything left over, it was at the discretion of Lady Jane, right? To decide what was most important to buy. And of course, you know, because the poverty is so dire, because of the social neglect within the country as a whole, hold on a minute. Okay, it's just the way it is. He made this weird little noise, and it turned out he had a burp. By the time I got to him, he was hiccuping. I gave him some toys, but he likes to throw them off the couch. And then, of course, he wants to go get them. So he's, next thing you know, he's hanging off the couch, trying to grab what he threw on the floor. The boy never stops. All right. Anyway, in comparison to the money I sent her, I am not asking for receipts, just honesty. And from what I can see, people's lives are getting better. Okay? I'm basing, you know, actions speak louder than words. You know, a picture speaks a thousand words. You know, one picture can speak 1,000 words without even mentioning anything verbally, right? Well, it's kind of the same thing with the video. You know, believe half of what you hear. You know, how does that go? Believe half of what you see. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Okay, so we've got Deb now believing perhaps half of what she sees, but none of what she hears at this point, because for whatever reason she did some sort of a little Google on something and seems to think that she located this woman who has a history of running a scam. She's not specific as to what kind of scam outside of it's coming from Nigeria, which would be that, oh, let me capture your heart and gimme once, you know, the person that's giving falls in love with the other person via online communications. All right. Who did I fall in love with? Little Peter, who looks like my little grandson. He's so cute. I fell in love with the children in general, right? That's if you wanted to say where did I fall in love, it's the pain it's not even love. It's the fact that there's, you know, they I don't want to say they've been abandoned by their federal government in terms of a country as a whole, with the rest of the population being consumed with apathy, where they're not coming together as a collective to make it better for everybody else, versus, getting stuck in a trap of a dog-eat-dog world. And, who cares if the kids are starving? Who cares if the mom is starving? Who cares, right? Well, I care. I'm sitting up in Canada, and I do care. And that's not to say people in Uganda don't care about their own children and vulnerable families, but when you're dealing with a high level of poverty speckled throughout the country, with an apathetic government and basically an apathetic society, you can't expect things to get better, right? So that's why I'm a little involved here, because, it kind of goes back to that. If you can help one, you can help, you've saved the world, right? At least tried to help save the world. Can't help everybody, but you can help one or two or three or four, right? Like a group, right? Small group, Anyway, all right. And then I wrote, I approached her first, and she didn't ask me for nothing. She answered some questions for me, and I made a decision to help some vulnerable people in a poor country. She has informed me that I am the only person, and she did. She said, I'm the only person that's really gone out of their way to, make I guess you could say, a larger donation. Not to say that I'm the only person that ever donated, but in terms of what I've donated, and why, and what's happening, I'm the only one that's kind of instigated this situation, right? Only person who has ever done this for her village, because she's encompassing her whole village, because she realizes that by helping one or two, it starts to begin to help the village, because, the village itself will become stronger. The more that are self-sufficient, not sickly, not fearful, have confidence, the stronger the village will become as a whole, right? Okay. And that I am changing lives. Well, again, who wouldn't feel good about that if you're a good person? I feel good about that. Anyway, from what I see, I can say the same thing about her. I'm giving her credit, because if she wasn't out there doing what she was doing, we wouldn't be able to see anything, right? Nothing would get done. So give credit where credit is due. As she is doing the footwork and investing her time into those families around her. I'm not doing that. She's doing that, right? All right. And then I wrote, I've been giving her advice, okay? Because that's basically all I can really give her at this point in life, outside of a few dollars here and there, right? And then even then, my time is on a Charlie watch, because I'm going blind, right? Pretty soon I won't be anything on the internet, all right? Somebody will have to do it for me, and ain't nobody going to do it for me, so that leaves me out in the dust. Anyway, I've been giving her advice about doing follow-up videos so people can see what she is accomplishing with limited funds. $200 is not a lot of money, people. And I have also just been brainstorming, just giving her ideas to think about, because she's young, right? And because she's young, she wouldn't know. And right, she only has so much time in a day to be thinking about things. And before she loses that desire to help, because of the frustration around not being able to help, and then falling victim to becoming apathetic to her own surroundings, I'm just giving her ideas to contemplate on, and, log into her long-term memory, so that, she has things to draw on if and when, I guess you could say, opportunity comes knocking, right? She won't be afraid, because she's already familiarized herself with the idea that, oh yeah, this is possible. We could maybe do that. Well, that's something to think about, not now, but maybe next year. Who knows, right? Okay, implement over a period of time different ideas that she can implement over a period of time, so the mom in this video can become more independent, where she has better opportunities to just digging in the dirt looking for food for her children. I would think she, Lady Jane, would be truthful with how she is spending the money, as really her accountability lays with the people in her own community. And don't forget, she's going to get flack. The more money she gets, especially if it's coming in large dollar amounts, the more the people are going to be approaching her saying, well, I want this, give me that. You know, where are you spending? What are you doing? How come you're not giving to me, but you're giving to them? With money comes trouble. And I've warned her about this. And I told her this is why you need to log this stuff down. And what's going to make it even more harder for her people is the more she takes, and that she's not taking, but the more she receives, Sooner or later, government officials are going to approach her and say, okay, cough up where you spent this money, because if you don't, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. And that's assuming that they have registered charities, registered nonprofits, registered societies, registered churches. Like, how do they do their commerce down there? I don't know. I just know that I don't want her getting stuck paying taxes for something that she shouldn't have to pay taxes on. Okay? Because, you know, she's doing charitable work. But does she know that? Does she know that the more she takes, the more she gives, the more it attracts more people to say, what are you doing with the money? So right from the get-go, keep a log of it, right? And if you want your donors, whoever they are, in the future to continue giving you money, especially in larger amounts, because it's the larger amounts that help to make the bigger difference. Not to say little amounts don't count, because they do, but sometimes you just got to cut to the chase and play hardball with it, right? You know what I'm saying? It would be nice just to forward her $1,000 bill and say, go nuts. And if you want to see change, spend every penny on the community, and you'll get change with $1,000, assuming that your economy is better, quote unquote, in some ways than in Canada. Like, you can't go to work with no shoes on in Canada. Oh my God. Not only would your employer be fined by WorkSafe BC, but you got the city coming in with the city code this and that, and the, you know, and oh my Lord. No. It doesn't work like that in Canada. But workers can work free under the sun and be happy with no shoes on in Uganda. So that's what I mean by the economy, right? So, but at the end of the day, yes, she's accountable for her community, because they're all looky-looing. Well, what's she doing? Where's she getting this money from? Why is she not spending it over here? How do we know she's not pinching some for herself? You know, all of a sudden she came with a new dress. Oh my God, she's spending the donation money on a new dress and not giving it to the people, even though everybody knows it was a donation. Or they think that just because she got a donation, somehow it's a personal donation, that it's a donation to her, right? And now I sent her an email regarding this subject just recently, saying that you have to separate yourself from your charitable work in terms of your personable work, right? Like in terms of your personal life, there's a fine line. It becomes very blurred very quickly, and people expect way too much from you, even though you yourself are one of the ones that have the least, unless of course you want to do a Mama Lynn and stick your neck out and play hardball and go into debt just so that, I don't know, I guess I could be an educator. Who knows? Like, it's beyond understanding how I even got into this situation. All right? But besides that point, we'll get to that in a minute in terms of how I advise her, right? Because I want her to protect herself from the very beginning. I told her you need to protect yourself. Right? Save your receipts. That's your first step. Just don't willy-nilly go off and spend the money and then say, I think I spent it here and I think I spent it there and I think it cost that much, but it's been so long I can't remember. Because if the federal government gets involved, they're just going to, well, we think you made this, we think you got that and that and that, and we don't know really what you did with it, so we're going to charge you taxes on it. Does the Uganda government do that out there? I don't know, but the Canadian government would. Okay? And a government is a government is a government. So at some point, I advised her that maybe she should be connecting with her local pastor just so that he can confirm that whatever she's doing is legitimate, with a legitimate registered I don't want to say society, but I guess a church or some kind of society, where there's like an oversight, where, you know, she's not left completely holding the bag. Because at some point, if that's what she wants to do, hold the bag 100%, then she's going to have to register her own society, which is going to cost money, filling out paperwork, you know, being accountable yearly on with your taxes and blah, 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 blah. But if you're not getting those donations coming in to make it all worthwhile your time, then you end up like me doing all that work for freaking nothing. Basically, spending money for nothing. You didn't get no donations, but you still have to fill out the forms. You still have to pay the fees. You still have to pay the yearly registration fees. What, she gonna dig in her own pocket? Do another mumble in? Go in $50,000 Uganda freaking money? In comparison to Canadian money? Just so that she can be charitable? No. She doesn't need to make the same mistakes as me. But she can do better than me. Because she's already got a following, right? And she just needs to encourage her members to help. That's all. But she has to show them how and where and why. And I'm trying to encourage her so that she can be better at what she does and be more successful at it. If that's what she really wants to do. But we don't really know what she wants to do yet. We only can assume by what she's shown us so far, right? And which I'll get to in a minute. All right. And then Deb comes back in and says, yes, the same individual. I was looking up more resources for them. I already spoke about that to Lady Jane. Like, where is the federal government of Uganda? Why is that woman sitting up in a shanty shack with the roof ready to blow off, with rain pouring in droves, with teeny weeny children with nothing to eat? Like, come on, people. There's something wrong here. Where I'm sure if you go to some city in Uganda where it's a hustle and bustle and everybody's running around on a me attitude looking to get rich, you know, you're not going to find that same situation as if you were in a rural area. I'm not to say that there isn't poverty in the inner, like in the inner cities of larger cities in Uganda, but at the end of the day, something is broken in that country, right? And it's not the children's fault, right? Right? It's not the vulnerable family's fault, okay? So anyway, and so Lady Jane said, for what little resources are available, they don't necessarily get distributed evenly or fairly because of the corruption within the agencies that run those resources. Kind of like what goes on in any government freaking agency. Okay? Passing the buck, you know? Laundering money here, doing that, skimming off for themselves, whatever. Playing favoritism, whatever. Lots of factors involved there. Okay? So that base has already been covered, right? But if Deb thinks she can tap into other resources in Uganda where Lady Jane can tap into those resources, well, forward me that information and then I'll forward it to Lady Jane. Or you can send her an email yourself and say, look, this is what I found. There's this agency, this agency, this agency. Why don't you contact them and see if they will, you know, forward you some cash so that you can carry on with what you're doing with the community. I don't know whether she found more resources or not. All I know is, you know, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So anyway, and her photo, info, and real location, and the warning popped up. I'm no judge of anyone. I was just passing it to you. All right, well, when I sent my money through Western Union, first of all, it went to Uganda. It did not go to any other country in Africa. All right. And then I came in and I said, you're going to have to give me more information, because she's being very elusive about it, right? She's just, she's, right? If that is the case, because I used Western Union to send money to Uganda. I highly doubt little Peter, that's the little boy that looks like my little grandson, Kyrie, is part of some kind of scam, and nor was the roof a scam either. Okay, this is where I'm believing at least half of what I see. And I'm not necessarily believing half of what I'm reading here, or anything that I'm reading here for that matter, unless she can come to me and show me the link where whatever it is that she says she found, she should be providing that to me so I can see for myself. And even then, just because I see it doesn't mean it is real, because, hold on a second, I'll let you know, because I wrote another post. Jane Moto is her YouTube username, and I don't think we were looking at a movie set with an African shanty shack, and I don't say that with disrespect, because I lived in a shanty shack in Canada, okay? And my next home will probably be less than a shanty shack after I leave this house. All right? With a African shanty shack falling apart, with actors in bare feet fixing it up for a scam. I highly doubt that was staged, okay? You are confusing Lady Jane with someone else, or with perhaps someone who used her picture for a false report because they were trolling her channel and didn't like her. All right. Then I wrote, don't forget, I have been falsely accused of things when Uncle John was medically kidnapped with GMOI, get off my internet, all of a sudden blew up with hateful posts against me to discredit my reputation. And don't forget, YouTube fucking staff, sorry, boo-boo staff, jumped up on that freaking bandwagon too, people, okay? Because this was done by the government, all right? Of British Columbia, Canada, that covered it up, all right? They gave Eleanor Gilding the green light to do what she did, because it's been going on for a long time when it comes to the medical kidnapping of the elderly to steal their assets. Anyway, to discredit my reputation so the Duncan clan could steal John's inheritance. Same is true with Julian's sister, Tamika, who helped Julian by lacing Shimei's smokes with medical fentanyl as at their mother's house before Julian came back to my house 3 days later and took out Shimei. He killed her, people. That crazy girl, Tamika, spews all kinds of lies about me to cover up and distract away from what because she's the one who laced Shimei's smokes first. And her brother, Julian, who came to the house almost 3 days later and killed Shimei after she'd been doped up with medical fentanyl from the moment she left her mother's house, their mother's house, okay? Because it was planned. It was premeditated murder, people, okay? She and her brother did to my daughter, Shimei. I get trolled on every video by the same retard, posting every now and then under fake usernames. All right? Left it at that. So, Deb, if you think you found something, if you don't want to post it here, you can always send me an email. You can go on to the main channel of my, my main page, my channel page. Go into the about, and you'll see my email if you don't have it. And you can email me that information that you think that you found on Lady Jane, and then I can give you my opinion on it. But other than that, Lady Jane is black. How do we know it's not some white peckerwood sitting up in some strange country, God knows where, just on the attack to, destroy her as a troll, if that's the case. For crying out loud, in 2016, someone went into Shimei's bedroom. I kind of know who it was, right? I don't think it was Julian, but his better half, his sister, because she was coming around, right, before Shimei kicked her to the curb and got into her personal bank statements and all that. Next thing you know, there's someone online opening up fake Shimei Facebook accounts and this account and that, all fake, right? And trying to put application in for a credit card under Shimei's name. And Shimei had to get in touch with the credit bureau, put everything on lockdown. She put her Facebook on freaking private, everything. To curb what was happening to her, because somebody came into her house, her bedroom, and was rooting around, kind of like a Tamika Johnson going into Freddie's bedroom, tampons, bobby pins, and hand cream in the bedroom, in Freddie's bedroom, after she had sex with Shimei's boyfriend, Freddie, so that she could break up Freddie and Shimei, and then Freddie would go be with freaking Julian, sister. Like sick shit. Okay? If she's gonna plant tampons, bobby pins, and hair cream, hand cream, or whatever kind of cream in another man's bedroom who has a girlfriend and left it there so the girlfriend could find it, so that, Shimei and Freddie would fight, you don't think she's not going to go into Shimei's room and start stealing her bank statements and any other personal information she could get, so she could start putting applications in for credit cards and opening up fake this and fake that? Yeah, she did that, people. Okay? She was the one who did that. So how do we know Lady Jane doesn't have a stalker like that? Just saying. Okay, now, I wanted to bring to the attention this woman, Latrice Allen, looking to get rich, always begging her subscribers to give her money, literally, bragging on about how she's a hustler. Right? Yeah. I sent her stuff in 2017 regarding the foundation. She tried to play herself off as some great grand freaking community activist. You reap what you sow. Yeah, that's right, Latrice Allen. You do. You do. Because if you didn't have the internet going on and on and on about begging people to give you money just so that you could freaking fucking live, you'd have nothing. Literally, you'd have nothing. I gave her an opportunity to make a difference for her country through a federal trademark name with a blueprint of what to do under charitable acts. And you know what she did? She tossed it off into the garbage, people, basically. Yeah. Didn't acknowledge it. Played it off like it was nothing. Oh, sure, she does little charitable acts within her subscriber group. She'll give a few poor black women that need an extra $50 or maybe $100 or whatever to make it look like she's charitable. But at the end of the day, she's nothing but a boo-boo beggar for self-gain. Nothing more, nothing less. She threw away an opportunity that could help millions of people because of her own self-greed. And she's still sitting up on YouTube after all these years, thinking she's some big freaking YouTuber who's gonna get rich. And she can't understand why people don't like her, for the ones that don't donate to her on a regular basis so that she can provide a quality living for her children. Ask Latrice Allen to donate $1,000, $200 to Lady Jane, and I can almost guarantee you this woman wouldn't do it. because she's selfish. She'd come with some excuse. Oh no, I already give to my followers, you know, when I'm running my little gambling scams on YouTube. Yeah. But since we're on the subject of money, can you donate to me, please? I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. Here's another one. And you know, the majority of her followers are black women. Okay? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, birds of a feather flock together. So that was another reason why this woman didn't help me. Because I wasn't freaking black enough. Yeah. Basically, that's what it boiled down to, people. Here's another one. Same kind of way. Right? And they cutting up each other all the time. This one's real bad. Chopping it up with the Roz squad. Yeah, chopping it up for what? So that you can sit up there and brag about how many freaking subscribers you got and how your supporters like to donate to you.
Your tone influences how we...
Yeah, okay. And for what? For what? So you can cut down people all the time? Consider yourself to be a moral compass as you're cutting up other women? For whatever sick reason you do it for? And you know the majority of her followers are black women. I asked her to help me. And she said, no, I don't talk about these things. No, what you do is you sit up there and you talk about, what do you call her? Bumpy Johnson? Latrice Allen, right? You don't even have the decency to say Latrice Allen. Well, yeah, because if you said Latrice Allen would come after your ass and she'd be threatening to take you to court. That's all these black women do on YouTube. Threatening each other to take each other to court all the time as they're cutting each other up saying, but on the other hand, gimme, gimme, gimme. Because this is entertainment. I'm entertaining you by cutting somebody up. So give to me so that I can brag on about my house and what I'm living in. Well, so-and-so is living in less. Like, to hell with that shit, people. Like, seriously, man. But, again, I wasn't black enough for this woman to take me serious. And the majority of her followers are black. You can almost guarantee it. Does that mean Lady Jane is the same way? I don't know. She's sitting up in Africa. African people, I don't know. It depends. It depends. It really depends on, I don't know. It just depends. Because people are people, right? People are going to do what they're going to do, right? All right. So, but African people that come from Africa, I don't know. My experience is, it's just, I don't know. They're different as a collective, more so than what we got going in Canada and the United States of America. All right, so anyway, then I want you to, now before I gave Lady Jane a donation, okay? Because we already know Latrice Allen blew me off. I was just a little white punk bitch that didn't mean anything. Couldn't waste their time. They were too busy trying to make money for themselves that they could brag on about what they got on YouTube. Because that's pretty much what it boils down to. Right? And it's been like that for years and years and years and years. Don't expect it to change. Alright, that's Latrice Allen, Raw Squad, quite a few of those types of YouTubers, right? And then I came across Lady Jane's channel through my, page. Like the first page, like when you go onto YouTube and they just give you things to look at, right? And her page came up. Some video came up. I clicked on it. Then I went into her, okay. At first, this is what she had. Now I did a search and it came up, but she's changed it now. She's changed her, what is it called? Mission statement on her channel page. Initially it was reading, this is what I read, and this is why I was asking her questions. Okay? Welcome to my channel, my family. My aim is to give you a real life in Africa from cultural way of life, food, entertainment, and to save the life of the needy and orphans and many more along the... Now, if I click this on, I don't think you're going to see this anymore because she changed her mission statement. Now she's focusing on men for some strange reason. And I'm thinking one of two things. She's trying to be creative with her... Okay, so we've seen that part. So let's just click it on and see what we get now. Because it's no longer reading that. It doesn't read that anymore. But this is what sparked me to contact her. And it was like two ships passing in the night. As fast as I contacted her, did what I did, she turned around and she changed her mission statement. To which now Deb is saying she's connected with some Nigerian love scam. And if you go to her page and read her mission statement, it kind of confirms what Deb is saying. Serious. Okay? So here's her main channel. Now you go to here. See? What we just read there should be here, but she changed it, people. I guess she's trying to gather up more subscribers. She's trying to be creative. Right? She doesn't want to get stuck in a rut. Whatever her reason was, this is what it reads now. Welcome to my channel. I am here to guide men on the right choice of women. Village life, story time. Please be part of this family. Okay, well, she got rid of the charitable part, all that other crap. If I would have seen that before I did the donation, I just would have kept on going. But I had already made the donation, and then halfway through the donation, all of a sudden, she changed her mission statement. And she's changed her her videos for the most part. Okay? So she came in 2 weeks ago with the first donation, surprise from Canada, in my village. So 2 weeks ago, where am I? 2 weeks ago, her initial about statement talked about everything that she was showing on down here, right? Which I looked at a few videos, ended up asking her some questions, and then that's when I decided that she was sincere, right? And I would take a chance and help her, because I doubt there's too many people from the USA and Canada that are helping. So I wanted to show leadership, right? While I still can. This time next year, I might not be able to see anything. And any donations I've done will dry up. But it would be nice to know that other people were donating in replace of me. So I'm trying to help her to build a system where she can show people that, first of all, she's real, true to her word, all this other stuff, she's accountable, and that you can donate to her and know that she's going to do what she's going to do at your request. Right? I requested, simple, help the little girl who lost her mom with the two siblings and make a couple of food hampers and give it to the surrounding community so they don't feel left out and get jealous. Right? I realize $200 isn't going to get you very far. I have no clue, though, because I don't know what the economy is like. Okay, so she did that. Right? She did that video, and she did that video. That's 13 days ago, so this was not even 14 days ago. Okay? And then all of a sudden, wham! She's off on some whole new planet. How to know when a woman is cheating. If your woman goes to any of these 4 places, leave her. Oh my God, how to punish a woman without hitting. Oh my God. 7 things women do to only men. They truly, okay, so, and I'm like, are we going back onto another freaking bashing of black women here? Because personally, I kind of sick of it, right? You know, this Latrice Allen, Raw Squad, and anyone like them, that's what they do for fucking views. So they can make their YouTube revenue, you know what I'm saying? And, make their YouTube revenue, think they're big and bad, as they're beating up on other black women. Being completely 100% self-centered. Gimme, 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 gimme. And once in a while just make a little donation here and a little donation there to some poor other black person so that they can tell their subscribers that they're freaking charitable, when in fact that's not true, people. There's nothing charitable about this woman. Nothing. Same thing is true with Raw Squad and a whole other freaking YouTubers on YouTube. I don't want Lady Jane making that same mistake. There's too many lives at stake here, people. Okay? Latrice Allen, Raw Squad, all those other ones, they live in countries where there's fairly good safety nets when it comes to social services. But not in Uganda. And if you think, Deb, that you found something where, you know, Lady Jane hasn't tapped into, or where you think that, I guess you could say that she's lying in terms of available services for the mom here, provide the links. Forward them to Lady Jane personally so that she can link into them and get that extra cash to help the family without having to rely on donations that may or may not come in. Good luck. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't be looking at this outside of, what, it's a movie set? Does that look like a movie set to you? They're not that sophisticated. But then it doesn't help when Lady Jane starts coming in bashing women. So she can build up her subscriber count with the male subscribers. As she's trying to fit in her charitable acts. Because now she feels obligated to me. Right? As she has yet to log in her description box what things are basically costing. If it costs you $100 Canadian in labor, put down labor costs $100 Canadian and then the amount in Uganda funds. So people like me, sitting up in different countries, can say, okay, so if we want to do this for somebody, we're looking at least $100 in labor Canadian. And then, you know, if the material cost, I don't know how much that sheeting costed, people. I'm surprised she even got done what she got done with the measly $250 fucking dollars. Right? But if she's not careful, Lady Jane that is, if she's not careful, you know, people gonna come knocking. What you doing with the money? Where's the receipts? How do we know you didn't keep any for yourself? Right? It only takes one person to put it out there. She's running a freaking scam. Well, when you come to her page now and you're looking at what she's talking about, it kind of like makes you wonder if she is. Because all of a sudden, it went like, whoop, and I'm like, holy shit. This is like mixing booze with kids and sex. But that's okay. There's a fine line with everything. You know, I make stripper costumes, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? Like to think about doing fundraisers in the bar. Oh, but as soon as you get to those high and morally corrupt, non-corrupt individuals, like the morally government, oh, you can't mix alcohol with kids. You can't do a fundraiser for kids in a bar because, you know, that's just morally wrong. Even though you've got the government running their casinos for charity. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's okay for the government to run the charity, the casino for the charity, and give to the kids. But as soon as you want to do a casino 50-50 or whatever in a bar, or in a casino for that matter, run your own casino and then give to the kids, that's when the government says it's a taboo because it's manufactured freaking poverty here. Either or. Let me go check on Amari. So yeah, all of a sudden she just went off into left field, and if you were running a scam looking for lonely men, I mean, what better way to attract men? Make your channel all about advice for men. So in that sense, you could almost say that maybe Deb has a point. A point. Is this all just coincidence that I should just pop up out of nowhere and insert myself in with this? I don't know. Because before she did this with me, there was nothing in there to suggest anything going on outside of maybe a bit of flirtation. You know, she washing herself with a booty shorts on under some trees. Right? You know, I was watching that last night and I'm like, oh, what's she trying to say here? You know, that's a little bit of a peep fashion going on. That's something I would do in terms of peep fashion. Like she's being flirtatious. But then she's young. Why wouldn't she? That's what young women like to do. They like to feel sexy and be flirtatious. I'm nobody to cast no judgment. But then all of a sudden she just kind of went off onto left field here and then started to just, I don't know. But it's leaning towards bashing black women because her peer group is black women. She's not talking to white women. Not too many white women on her are subscribed to her channel, unless if maybe they're coming with me, right? Which, like Shelly, truly amazing. She's white, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm white. But for the majority, no, that's not how fucking YouTube works, man. You're black, the majority of your subscribers will be black, right? And chances are the YouTuber will be slightly racist against the minority, which in this case, I would be the minority because I'm white, right? And a lot of YouTubers are very just self-centered and looking to make money for themselves, hoping to be the next YouTube sensation and get rich, right? Always begging, asking for more, never satisfied, right? And do limited amounts of charitable work to just say that they are charitable, which is a bunch of freaking crock. All right. So I'm like, all right, well, it is what it is. What can I say, right? And then, so she does her, whatever she does, right? And then, because I did another donation too, right? To do the roof, she comes in and she does the roof video, right? She's trying to follow through with whatever we're doing here. And then she did the follow-up, which we're going to go and look at in a minute here, surprised the young widow with food in my village. So whatever money left over from the roofing and buying the sheets or whatever, from the roofing, from whatever money that was left over from the poles, the metal sheets, and paying the labor. Now keep in mind, I only gave her $250, people. That's not a lot of money, at least in Canadian standards, right? But she managed to get that roof done, pay for the materials and the laborers, and then still have a little left over to come back the next day and give them more food. But the thing is, she's not protecting herself, though. And I'm trying to warn her about this, especially if I keep giving her money. And like Tisha's now offered to give her money starting in June, at least one donation. Right, in terms of Tisha's offered to give Lady Jane another $100 to match whatever I'm giving in June, right? Because, you know, Tisha grew up with African families, people. Some of her best friends are African, from Africa. Why wouldn't she want to help? She grew up with them. They're her best friends, some of them. She's going to a church right now where there's African people. Tisha never went to church, but some African woman snagged her in a grocery store and got Tisha going to her church. So every now and then, Tisha goes to church with a bunch of freaking Africans. So why wouldn't she want to help out a little bit if she can? But even Tisha asked me, are you sure this woman's not scamming you, Mom? And I'm like, well, no, I don't think so. But, you know, now that she's changed her mission statement on her main page, and it's coming in with these other kind of videos that's specifically directed to men, as she's kind of, you know, bashing black women, mainly, it kind of makes it suspicious. And I told Lady Jane that it's misleading what happened here, right? That's not, she didn't plan it. I didn't know, I didn't see it coming. But, you know, am I a little insecure at this point? A little, but I'd still like to help Lady Jane get to a point where when my day is done and I can't do this no more because, you know, I got other responsibilities, got to focus on my debt load. I've got things I have to pay for that are high ticket items, and they're repetitively and or whatever, and just whatever, right? You know, like, I'm not going to be able to do this, but I might be able to encourage other people to chip in 50, 100, whatever, so that Lady Jane can continue helping the community. So, did she put anything in the description box yet? She doesn't seem to understand the importance of this. She said she was going to, but she hasn't yet. Now, I'm thinking maybe it's because she's afraid. And I know you're watching this, Lady Jane, because, you know, this is just a part of life, right? You got to work through these, you know, it's like ironing a sheet. A sheet comes to you all crinkled. It takes a little while to iron it out and make it nice and smooth, right? Well, you know, I mean, like, if you're going to be doing charity work, don't half-step. Don't be a Latrice Allen. Seriously, man. Right? Don't be a freaking Raw Squad or anyone like that, people, Lady Jane. Like, you don't want to be, because you'll always be begging for money. You don't need to beg for money. You just have to show people that you're real and sincere. You have a subscriber base. You haven't even been on YouTube that long, and I've noticed in the last 2 weeks your numbers jumped up. You were at 2.3K. I don't know what you're at. What's your subscribers? Does it say here? Yeah, you're at 2000. You were at 2001.3 a week and a half ago. Now you're at 2001.4. So obviously your numbers are jumping up somehow, some way. So maybe changing your format in terms of trying to do your Dear Jane, like a Dear Abby, with the men on the advice is working for you. But you can only bash women for so long, because really that's kind of what you're doing. You're bashing women. And women have it hard enough as it is. Right? Not to say giving men advice isn't a good thing either, because there's some pretty raunchy women out there. But, like, is this what you plan on doing for the whole time you're going to be a YouTuber? Giving men advice how to avoid bad women? What about women who are being abused physically and emotionally by bad men? You know? Right? I'm just saying. Where's the concern for the women? Because ultimately it's usually the women who are abused and not the men, proportion-wise. And in your country, women are property. I guess in the rural areas, maybe not so much in the city where everybody is modernized, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of vulnerable women out there. Yeah. So, all right. So anyway, let's see, what else did I want to talk? Oh, yes, and then we've got this one here, Tasty Bonnie, Julian's sister, with her bullshit crap. Right? Spreading her rumors, her lies, just so that she can cover up what she did to my daughter with her brother. You know, I'm just saying, she kind of fell off the wayside. She either got arrested and she's in jail, or she's just lurking. Personally, I think she's just lurking, because she was stalking and gang stalking this other two girls, especially this one with the Hayden baby, right? And they called the cops on her. So maybe she's in jail. Who knows? I don't think so. though, because, you know, I got that retard troll that likes to troll my videos and come in with their daily dose of thumbs down, right? And then come in with their fake user account and post their stupid shit that I copy and paste most of the time just so that people can see the retardness around that individual with their freaking bullshit crap. All right, so we're going to exit out of that. Just wanted to point that out. That's just another loser on YouTube. Right? Here I'm trying to figure out how much it costs to buy a bag of beans in freaking Uganda. You know, I mean, Lady Jane could make that so much more easier for me. In terms of, you know, if you bought 25 kg of mixed dry beans at 25 kg and it's 230,000 whatever, because I don't understand what we're looking at here. You know, how much did that bag of beans cost? Because, you know, I don't know. Like, I want to know, people. I know how much 25 kg will cost out here for a bag of beans, because I've been buying, right? Buying so much I don't need to buy anymore. So, oh, I'm trying to find my freaking mouse, man. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much Canadian dollars that is, right? Because she said she was going to buy kg this and kg that, and so I put, you know, like, here I am trying to, like, you know, convert her from, I guess that's a shilling to Canadian dollars. So 1,000 shillings is only a measly 36 cents in Canadian dollars. Well, what does that mean? Like, what can you buy for 36 cents in Uganda? Right? So, if a piece of fish costs $2 in Canadian, I'll just give you an example here. So this is where she needs to write in the description box. Otherwise, people are going to lose interest. And I tried to warn her of this, or they're going to accuse her of scamming. And it won't be long that if she keeps taking donations and she's not, you know, being accountable for them in any kind of capacity, it's just a matter of time before the federal government looks her up, and they're going to start charging her taxes on it. I don't want that to happen. So, if it costs $2 Canadian dollars, if it costs $2 Canadian dollars to buy a piece of dry fish to give to the little girl, that would cost 5,506 shillings, from what I can understand. I don't know. I need to be educated on this. So, if it costs that many shillings for 25 kg bag, which is about 55 pounds, of mixed beans, right? We'll put it right here. Paste. It's $83.55, which would only be, like, if I gave her a $200 donation and she bought 25 kg of mixed beans, I mean, and, right, what has she got left out of $200? Nothing. Just saying. But is this correct? I don't know. Am I reading this correctly? I don't know. It would be helpful if Lady Jane could make that clear. This is what it cost in Uganda shillings, and this is what it cost in Canadian shillings. Da-dee-dee-da-dee-dee-da. Total. Here's your expensive. That's your subtotal. So, your cost is your subtotal. Add in your expenses, and then there's your total. She had to pay $25. She told me she paid $25 to rent a car because things were getting too heavy and she couldn't carry it. That's reasonable. I can appreciate that. You know? So anyway, I'm giving up trying on that because I don't even really know what I'm doing there. Right? And I would suspect that she's getting better deal than just $83 for 25 key on mixed beans, but then maybe she's buying cheaper goods right? I don't know, right? And apparently I could buy this and have it shipped and have it picked up at a frickin' shipping center. But I'm not doing that. I only got so much time to do this stuff, people. I'm winding down my life. I'm figuring out how I'm going to get rid of things and make it easy on myself. So yeah, forget about Raw Squad. You're barking up a dead tree. Forget about freaking Latrice Allen, right? They're self-serving individuals. They're not worth your time. Latrice Allen, poof, you're gone. Go be a beggar on YouTube. That's what you'll go down in history with. You had a chance to make a difference with the foundation, and you chose to throw it away. That's exactly what you did. Same thing with chopping it up with Roz. All they do is go around bashing women, for the most part. Yeah, talking bad about people. If they didn't have bad things to say, they wouldn't have a freaking channel. Poof, you're gone. I'm just saying. I suppose you could say the same thing about me, but the difference between me, Latrice Allen, and Raw Squad, Rosalind, or whatever her name is I have still to this day a legitimate nonprofit with a whole lot of years experience to know a whole lot of different things. Okay? And this is where I'm trying to help Lady Jane not get caught up in, I don't know, something. Because what she's doing here, in my opinion, is priceless.
Drinking warm water
So
before bed
what we're going to do,
balances blood sugar levels and reverses
what we're going to
type
do
2.
here
Thousands of people
is,
are apparently
see, this is
regaining-
where she gets her income from. But the problem with that, though, is, you know, people aren't going to sit there and watch the ads. They're just going to click out. So she doesn't get the full revenue. But at some point, she's getting some kind of revenue. And this is where her personal life shouldn't interfere with her charitable life. And this is where I've told her she needs to try and separate between the two. And it's very important to keep your charitable life documented, right? And being that you are a public community activist, because you're doing it on a public forum, which is in this case YouTube. And if you're looking for more support, more donations, more trust, more whatever, then yeah, you should take the time and put these things in the description box, and then go somewhere in your community, like maybe a nonprofit or a church or something, and let them know that this is what you're doing, you know, and you got lucky. Because that's basically what happened here, people. She got lucky. Out of the stars, I showed up. Boom. Right? Boom, boom. Right? There's another donation pending with Tisha coming in June, adding on an extra $100. It won't be long before she's sitting at $1,000 donation, and people are going to demand to know where she spent it and how she spent it and what she plans on spending if it keeps coming. Because sooner or later it's going to dry up on my end. And that would be a real shame, because then those people that she's helping become abandoned, because there's no one there to take my place. Right? But if she follows my advice and, makes a few adjustments here and there, she has a better chance of being successful. Whether it's at her personal situation in terms of what she talks about with the men, I mean, that may change in 6 months from now. Maybe she'll change her mission statement again. I don't know. Or whether it's her charitable work. There's a fine line in there, and they get blurred. I know. I dealt with it for years and 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 years. The only thing is, I didn't really get any donations. Because people were jealous, didn't want me to succeed. Right? Always played the poor card in terms of, if you're a poor person asking basically poor people for money, not that they're necessarily poor, right? They're not going to give to you because, one, they don't trust you because you're poor, or two, they don't want to give to you because they think they can't because they're poor. I mean, just with money comes trouble. But without money, you can't do anything. That's the problem. And that's why people become apathetic after a while, because they just give up. They lose hope. They lose faith. They lose motivation. They lose trust. Everything, right? And then yeah, you get the scammers coming in with their running of the mouth. Oh, you know, I'm going to talk about Bumpy Johnson and how she's a terrible mom. And then Bumpy Johnson is, oh, you know, I'm just going to, Latrice Allen, oh, you know, I don't know why people are jealous of me, you know, and I'm not trying to hurt nobody, but let me block you, let me block you, let me block you, give me some money, you know, I've got this, I've got that, I'm a hustler, I'm doing, you know, you're never going to, you know, I'm going to be rich. Yeah, go ahead, be fucking rich. You're still a nobody. And Lady Jane, she just coming up in the ranks. Maybe she might be somebody one day. I told her Africa is her playground. There's a lot of children in that playground that need, honest to God, noble women to help them. Call me foolish, call me a fool, call me whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Because my life is folding up anyway. Yeah. Yeah. This time next year, I'll be either blind as a bat. Yeah. Or I'll be selling off my shit, getting ready for the day I am blind as a bat. And my life will completely change. But I won't change. I'll still be the same person. So hold on a minute. Okay, so I'm going to finish this video, but I'm going to finish it on Lady Jane's last video when she did the follow-up after the roof was on. But before we do that, I just want to... she sent me an email. She's all stressed out now, too. I'm stressed out. I told her to watch my video, right, for advice and for ideas, right? I'm just taking my 24... almost 25 years of working on a nonprofit, and I can honestly say that was not successful because of the politics around manufactured poverty and poverty pimping. Okay? In my country. With British Columbia, Canada leading the pack because it's on the west coast. Right? Just saying. And, you know, I want her to be successful. I really do. Before I leave this planet, somebody's got to be able to take that torch. Right? It's not the first time I tried to pass the torch. Right? And what do you think Latrice Allen was about? Tried to pass the torch. She blew it out and threw it in the lake. She didn't give a damn about it. Same thing with that Raw Squad. They're too busy just bashing each other. As if black women don't have enough problems. African women, I don't think so. They're not so much like that. Unless maybe they get consumed with money and would do it for money. And this is where Lady Jane needs to stop and think about her outreach with men and kind of putting women in a negative light when a lot of those women that, you know, they're being abused by men. So there's a fine line in there as well. But that's none of my business. That's her personal stuff, right? When it's charity, though, she becomes a public figure, and this is where she has to figure it out. There's a fine line between personal and being a public figure. Anytime you're doing something charitable, however you're doing it, you become in the public's eye. And then once you're in the public's eye, people will start accusing you of this, questioning you, being suspicious, right? Expecting more of you. I mean, it just opens up a whole new can of worms, and that's all I'm trying to make her aware of so that she can better protect herself from things coming her way if she becomes more successful with the charitable aspect of her life. All right. So before we get on to her video, to end this video, you know, what is on the wish list for the mom with the children? We got the floor, the mattress, blankets, pillows. There should be a light fixture of some kind, like a solar lighting lantern or something. Clothing, shoes, sandals for the children, homeschool supplies, age-appropriate toys, sewing machine with foot pedal, and miscellaneous notions and fabric. And that's just to give the woman a chance to be able to develop new skills, gain more confidence, perhaps create herself a little job, right? or at least be able to provide clothing and blankets and whatnot for her own children. Goats with secure pen. No point in giving her goats if we're not going to build the pen, because the goats not only can provide milk for nutrition, but it can also provide milk for soaps, and if need be, I suppose, it could even provide meat, right? And as well as companionship for the children, because goats do make good pets. All right? And then food supplements and water storage containers, right? Until the woman is able to basically look after herself without having to receive anything for the most part, because, you know, she's at a point now where she's gainfully employed through being an entrepreneur by having opportunity provided to her, okay? And then miscellaneous items as needed, e.g. like maybe medicine, all right? Or the lanterns or whatever. All right. So far what we've accomplished was the emergency food supplements, the metal roofing with labor, and then 2 food-grade buckets and sheets. This is just for this particular family, right? And then the people who are supporting at this point, from my perspective, obviously is me, right, aka Mama Lynn, and then Tisha has offered to chip in $100 beginning in June, who will be in the middle of the month, somewhere around that time, around middle towards the end of June. So, right? So I will either match Tisha, or Tisha will, and then of course, you know, this is going to be our list of noble women. So as things go by, time goes by, and as long as, you know, Lady Jane can iron out that sheet where, you know, things are more transparent, and like, you know, there should be like a cost to this. We should know how much it costed, so that we know that in our heads how to budget for it, right? If it costs $100 for a floor, you should put $100, and then whatever it costs in Uganda money, so that people like me, when we come in and we look, we can go $100 for a floor? Well, that's not too bad. I'd like to chip in for that, whether I'll pay the full $100 or maybe I'll put in $20 towards it, right? Because, you know, the big donations are the ones that really make the difference, but the little ones also add up to make the big one, right? But you can't really do much of anything unless you have a fair chunk of change, people, right? All right. So I just wanted to point that out. So now we're going to go, this is the follow-up. First one was when she did the roof. She said she was going to come back. She wasn't sure if she was coming back with, this is Lady Jane. She said she wasn't sure if she was coming back with the mattress, because that was kind of like a priority, because the other one that was inside the home, right, had gotten rained on because of the leaky roof. So, you know, it was a hit and miss whether it was salvageable. Preferably, you know, children are sleeping on it, you know, whatever, it should be new, or at least in good condition, not being saturated from rain and whatnot, right? Okay. So she came back and did another video, which I'll put into my playlist after this one. This one will go in behind this one. And then here we've got Truly Amazing, who I'm assuming now has subscribed to Lady Jane's channel, to whom Truly Amazing, her name is Shelley, and I can't remember, but Shelley will verify this. What I'm doing with Lady Jane is not out of my character. In other words, I don't know if it was in 2020, no, 21, 22, maybe in 2022, maybe at some point in 23. I don't even remember anymore. I just know it was a year or two back. The United States government was cutting back on their food stamps for vulnerable families, where Shelley was getting, we'll just say $300 for her, assistance through social services. And in that situation, it would be food stamps, right? Because of what, how the government kind of increased everybody's stuff when they brought in those lockdowns and all that. So she was getting about $300 extra with her food stamps. And then that went on for about a year or whatever it was. And then the government turned around and took it all back. And she was panicking. She was scared, right? Because, all of a sudden she was losing her food stamps and she was just down to the bare bone minimum in terms of, the dollar amount of the food stamp. And, she was frightened, right? As were millions of people across the United States of America with that cutback from the government, federal government, that is. So, I was in the height of doing my food prep, getting 50 pounds of this, 50 pounds of that, 110 pounds of this, another 25 pounds of that. I got video after video after video after video. Well, I'm like, oh my God, you're losing your food stamps, and I'm sitting up here in Canada with all this food. Now, mind you, I'm sticking my neck out as I always do, but no regrets now, right? That's for sure. And, I have to play catch up with the bills, but besides that point, I said to Shelley, how about I send you some food? I'll order it on Organic Matters. I will order it. They ship all across the United States. They ship all across Canada, and they have a store in the United States. So it's easy enough to me to put in an order, and I think it was like $375 or something like that. I bought her 25 pounds of chickpeas, 25 pounds of whole groat oats. What else did I buy her? I don't know. I bought her a few things anyway. It came out to about $300 and some odd, $375, something like that. And she's on the East Coast where I'm on the West Coast. So eventually it did. It got delivered to her godfather's house. Truly amazing, Shelley. She will confirm that this is a true story. We don't talk about it, right? She doesn't say much about it. But she knows that what I'm saying that I'm doing for Lady Jane is legit because I did it for her, just out of the blue. She made a little simple post. Oh my God, the federal government's cutting back on the food stamp. I don't know, EBT cards or whatever they're called, right? And I've got the kids and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was scared and I'm like, well, don't be scared, right? This is why you need to seriously think about food prepping because, it's going to get worse. I do believe that. And it is in so many ways. And I said, so to help you get started with the food prep, Shelley, that's what I told her, to help you get started. I'll do you a donation and I'll order from Organic Matters and I'll have it shipped out to you to wherever you are in the United States of America. And that's exactly what happened. Now, whether she ate it all, I don't know. I don't know if she ate it. I don't know if she still got it stored. I don't know if she continues to food prep. All I know is, I got her started on it, right? And, so what I'm doing for Lady Jane isn't really much different, only I'm taking it to a whole new level, in part because we're dealing with a different kind of economy where the poverty is extremely dire, whereas where, Truly Amazing lives, there are safety nets, right? And yes, Deb, I'm sure there are safety nets in Uganda because Lady Jane herself said, yeah, there are, but they're far and few in between, and what there is available also, though, is being extorted. You almost could say that by the administration, by the administrators, the employees of that program that are cherry picking who gets what, when they get it, if they get it, and it's not as well evenly distributed as it would be, we'll say, in the United States or in Canada. And even in Canada, what goes in terms of safety nets for the general population in the bigger cities like where I live in Vancouver area, right, with all the districts, when you get up into the interior, right? Up into the boonies where all the trees are. And that's all it is. It's just little hick towns, right? You don't get as many services, right? They don't have access to quality health care. They have to fly. They have to get into a helicopter or an airplane just to fly off to get to an emergency ward. I'm just using that as an example, right? They'll be lucky to have one doctor in the town, right? There's only so much food products in a small town up in the interior, places like that, right? So it's no different than like that in Uganda. Of course, in the bigger cities, they're going to have more resources to tap into, but then they would probably also have a higher poverty rate. But that's not to say that rural areas aren't suffering from a high poverty rate. And because their economy isn't like ours, they get lost and forgotten about. And then that apathy kicks in, right? It's terrible. I know what it means to just have nothing on more than one occasion in my life. So with me going blind, like I said, I'm winding down on my life, right? I'm finishing up with food prep, putting everything away, making it nice for whoever wants to go eat it. I'm assuming that would be my son. Andre asked me if I wanted some tacos tonight because my son's offering him tacos. And I'm like, no, I'm not really saying yes, right? Because I'm still kind of annoyed with everything, right? Because I know he's annoyed with me because I'm not downstairs doing what he wanted me to do. But if he would have left everything alone, that shit would have been done a long fucking time ago. Because I'm still too busy now focusing on this crap upstairs. But once it's all done and said and put away, I'm like, I'm not going to tell him he can't eat it. Of course, especially if I'm going blinder and blinder and I don't want to freaking cook it, right? So, when I get to that point, I'm looking around the house trying to figure out what I'm going to start selling off or giving away and how I'm going to give it away just to liquidate some of this unnecessary stuff so that I can make plans to maybe move into a different kind of situation where it's more conducive for a blind woman with, a disabled child, basically, and maybe Andre coming, right? Because, he's not going to stay behind. Now, ideally, I would like to either live in a different house with either Tisha, when it gets closer to that time as I'm going blinder, I'm going to just tell her, like, this do or die. It's now or never. Like, we need to bust loose, get into a different house where you have a beautiful kitchen. I only need one big rumpus room, basically, and a washroom. Other than that, what more would a blind woman want besides a piano? And Amari gets a nice big bed on the floor. He's got company 24/7 with everybody running in and out. Like, that's what my life is going to be reduced down to, people. Whether it's with my son or whether it's with my daughter, like, my kids are like they are oblivious as to what's coming, unless of course they want to lock me away like a dirty secret and forget about me and throw away the key. But Andre won't let that happen. Hell no. He'd be like, you can't lock up, Nana. No way. All right, so anyway, we're not at that bridge yet, so we don't have to cross it, but we are at this bridge, and I'm going to finish the video on this because, like I said, actions speak louder than words, right? And I think these actions speak louder than words, regardless of what she's doing on her channel, which is her personal channel, right? She didn't come on the foot with a registered charity and all this crap like I did. She's just young. She's just learning. She doesn't know what to think or what to expect. And, it's trial and error. And that's why I'm just giving her the advice, right? And giving her ideas and helping her out and trying to rustle up a band of noble women so that they can, continue on with the agenda to help somebody that's outside of their norm that really, truly need it and do appreciate it. Okay, so let's carry on.
This is Jen Modo. So
okay.
If you are new here, please consider subscribing, hit on that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a video. I am in a new building. I'm already here, guys.
She's in the new building. In other words, with the roof. Just by doing the roof, it became a new building, and perhaps maybe they did patch up some of these bricks. I don't know yet, right? It's hard to say. Andre, the water is boiling. Okay, so you notice that. New building.
Guys, I've just arrived. It's already 5 p.m. Just from town to buy those things. But guys, it was not easy. So...
Okay, she's all worried, right? Like, she's all stressed out now because I'm telling her what's going on with Deb with the, with the suggestion that maybe there's a scam going on here, da-dee-dee-da. I told her I'm feeling insecure, right? That doesn't mean that I don't believe in the process. It just means I'm feeling insecure. I'm pointing out things that other people are thinking or how people do think, can think, will think, and she needs to insulate and protect herself from that, right? And here's an idea, here's a way to protect yourself, whatever. Again, I'm just giving her ideas, right? And that, I don't personally think whatever she's thinking. I think she thinks that I think she's stealing from the money for herself, where I don't think that because, again, I've been doing what I've been doing for 25 years, and there are expenses around these situations. So, like she had to buy the sheeting. She had to pay for it to be delivered. Whether she loaded it up herself, she still would have to rent the truck in order, whatever, right? There are expenses involved, no matter how you go about things. Right? And she doesn't own her own car. So if she's picking up 20 kg of this, 10 kg of that, 5, whatever, and you've got 150 pounds, 200 pounds worth of food divvied up into different bags, and you got to deliver it out into the countryside, and you don't have a cart with a buggy, like a buggy and horse, if you don't got a horse to pull a cart, how are you going to get it there? Carry it on your back? No, she's going to rent a car. That's an expense, right? That's reasonable. If she's really hungry, if she was starving, well, she needs to eat some of that food just so that she has the energy to follow through on what because she says, I don't even eat the food. Well, I didn't think you were eating the food. I don't know. I didn't think so. That never even crossed my mind. But if she needed to, in order to have the energy to be able to do what she's doing, then I wouldn't tell her she couldn't. Right? Take a little food. Got to keep your spirits up. Got to keep your energy up. Right? But she doesn't need it because she's got her own personal life. That's what her YouTube channel is about. And how else she makes money, I don't know. But that's not my business. My business is to help her with being a better community activist with her charitable acts based on my experience. And she doesn't have to take that advice. She doesn't have to take anything I offer her, right? If she doesn't want to. But while I give it to her, I'm going to give her, I'm going to give it my best shot. Right? I want her to be successful. Like I said, Africa is her playground. There's a lot of children in that playground. Don't start and stop at one location. Keep an open book. You never know.
I'll put everything in the description below. And
she hasn't done that yet. Now, there's something that she's reluctant about that. I don't know why. I keep telling her you need to do that because that is the best. Because when you've got people coming in looking on your channel like Truly Amazing, Tisha, right? Or what about maybe Tisha's friends? Because, once Tisha does it a couple times, and right, and things are progressing, and and Tisha's saying, oh yeah, I helped this lady in Africa, she's a really nice woman, all this stuff is getting done, and then you never know, maybe one of her friends will say, well, I want to chip in. Tisha goes to a church now with that black woman there and the other black people that come from Africa. Maybe one day they'll do a donation drive, and right, it will come from a church because Tisha goes to that church. You never know, but they need to see what it's costing and where it's going. But she's reluctant. I think she's scared that if she puts down too much information, the people in her community will start harassing her. Because that's the only reason I can think why she wouldn't do it. It's not that I think she's hiding anything, as she doesn't want to draw attention to herself. where, you know, the people, because I know how people are, oh, you got all this money and you just did that, and why didn't you do that? You should have done that over there, and you forgot about me. Are you sure there's nothing left? Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't want to draw too much attention to herself. That's why I told her to talk to her pastor if she has one, and try and just have him as an overseer, so that if people start giving her flack, he can say, back off. She's doing a good job. Let her do what she's doing. I mean, obviously, something going on here that's good, and you don't need, because people will try and destroy it for her to be in control, right? So that's the only reason I'm thinking she's not. Or she just frustrated with the whole process of typing everything out. Maybe, I don't know. Either or. She needs to, because then it just becomes more transparent, and it makes it easier for people like me in different countries to budget around it and take a chance to make a donation for the cause, whatever that. If it's a bag of beans, it's a cause, right? If it costs $83 for a bag of beans in Uganda, which is almost comparison when it's 25 kg is 55 pounds. I think. 55 pounds, 44 pounds. What's 44 pounds? Either or. That's a fair amount of beans, and that's almost comparison in price as to what I would pay here in Canada, depending on the type of bean, right? To which, to me, doesn't make any sense, because the amount of food that she came when she was giving out, I don't know, it seemed like a fair amount. I don't know. See, you want to remove the I don't know and make it where people do know, so that they can put it in their, you know, short-term hippocampus, goes into there, think about it during the day, go to sleep, it goes into the long-term hippocampus, and it stays there, and then maybe one day they might just wake up and say, well, I got a light bulb moment, I think I'm going to make a $100 donation for a bag of beans, and a little extra this and a little extra that, because it's the right thing to do. That's where we want to get to with people. But you have to let them know exactly what it costs and for what that they're donating for, and then it's easier for them to develop that level of trust, right? Unless, of course, Lady Jane decides that being a community activist and having to go out and be a boss at a site where they're installing a roof and finding out it's been a 10-hour, 12-hour deal, like the good old days with Mama Lynn out in the courtyard. You go out at 9 in the morning and you don't get back in until 10 o'clock at night, and you were outside all day and you didn't eat because you were with 60 kids. Well, you know, but you build stamina, because she was out there from 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, when the sun came up, out there all day. And she said, first of all, she wasn't even feeling well when she went out there, but she had to be there because she was the boss, and then she had to make sure nothing got stolen, to which she did, right? Made sure the job was done, right? Followed through on everything that she needed to do. Nobody paid her to do any of that, right? And, you know, obviously she's under scrutiny, right? You know, she's afraid to say too much, because if she says too much, they'll be like, are you sure that's all that woman gave you was $250 for that? Well, you know, she must have gave you more because she's rolling in the dough. You're lying. They're going to start accusing her of lying about how much money she's received, right? Like, people are messed up. Like, I'm telling you. They'll be turning over the freaking rocks looking for the fucking, sorry, boo-boo money. You know, harassing her. Are you sure that's all you got? That's why I tell her she has to keep track of everything. And the more she can put down in the description box in terms of what she paid for and how she paid it, in terms of labor costs, and, you know, if she had to pay for transportation, you know, put transportation. You had to pay $20 for transportation. You had to pay, I don't know, $100 for freaking labor. I don't know. All I know is that it would be helpful. All right, let's just carry on because this video is too long.
So have some blankets, the soap, smearing oil, cooking oil, rice, beans.
Okay, let's go back.
I'll put everything in the description below, and I've bought for her some blankets.
Okay, so she said that I bought some blanket, and then she's talking about things that she did buy. This is the second day after the roof is done, so she came back, right? That's what happened, right? but she has yet to put it in the description box for whatever reason. And I can't stress it enough. It would be helpful for people to see what their money is purchasing in black and white, and then do the follow-up video to confirm that you bought it. It speaks for itself. Actions speak louder than words. But also have your records, everything written down in black and white. If you have receipts, keep them, right? Because the more you do this, Lady Jane, if you get serious about it to the point where, I don't want to say it becomes legitimate, but you're going to have to legitimize it, where you're going to either have to partner up with an existing organization that's already registered and has a tax number, so that all your donations become tax exempt, right? And if you are paying taxes, you'll get your taxes back. Or you're going to have to create your own foundation, fill out your own paperwork, pay all the necessary fees in order to be able to be a legitimate registered nonprofit society. And then if you go to the next level where it becomes a charity, then it's even more paperwork, more fees, more this, more. But then you live in Uganda and you have people that go to work with no shoes on. So who knows? I don't know. All I know is, if you want people to take you serious, there has to be some level of paper trail, right? And it's not so much sending it to me, because you sent me something. I couldn't even see that, Lady Jane. I told you I'm blind. I don't know what you sent me with that picture. I don't know. I couldn't see it. I'm not asking you to send me things. I don't need it. I walk down the street. There's a homeless person on the street in my country, sitting on the asphalt with the cars driving by. I give that person $20. I don't say, here's $20. Promise me you're not going to go do drugs with it. Otherwise, I ain't giving it to you. In other words, I don't tell them how to spend the money. Because ultimately, I gave it to them, right? I just say, get yourself something to eat or whatever, right? And I leave it at that. And I walk away. I don't look back. Well, it's kind of like that with you. I mean, yes, I have a little more expectation because we're dealing with very dire situations here, because even the homeless people where I live can go to the food bank. They can go to a shelter, like soup kitchens. They have shelters here where they get fed every day, right? And sometimes there's more than one place. They get welfare. If they don't have housing, they still get welfare. They get something like $600 a month just in a welfare check, even if they're homeless. If they have housing, the housing is very, it's on the low ball, and the housing market, they can't afford really to rent anything unless it's subsidized by the government. But even then, even if they're not getting a rental part on their welfare check, they still get money for food. And they can still go every day to the shelters in the area and get meals given to them. Where you're dealing with people that don't have that privilege, right? And that's why I'm kind of like, well, get them food or do the roof or whatever, because there's nothing there to pick up the slack, right? Anyway.
The soap, smearing oil, cooking oil, rice, beans, posho flour, some bed sheets, and let me try to remember. Though there aren't.
Okay, now I gave her $250 to put up a roof with metal sheets. She managed to do that, people, and still had money left over to buy the things that she's talking about. I'm just saying. That's a lot.
So that I get them one by one. So guys, I want to take this opportunity to thank Mama Lynn from Canada. Thank you so much for thinking about the less privileged, let me say the poor in my village. Thank you for thinking about this woman, because without you it would have not come to pass. Thank you.
You heard that. Without me, it would not have come to pass. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, in my mind, I'm going to be useless as a tit next year, sitting like a lump on a log, begging for people to do things for me as they're telling me I can't have what I want. They'll say, you can't do that, Mom. No more. No. Just eat your food and go to bed. Be quiet. Don't talk. I'm just saying. Right. And I will only be 63 years old. Oh my God. Right? You know, and I don't want to abandon little Peter and his siblings. You know, I don't want them to fall back. And be worse off than when I came the first time around. So I have to find a way to, you know, encourage other people to help. So that when I can't do it no more, then, you know, life goes on, people. I don't know how to say it. It just goes on. Like, more people should be helping with this. Period. But it's hard to get them motivated for that. So while I can see and while I can do certain things, I'm going to just do me. Like Truly Amazing. She'll tell you, yeah, Mama Lynn just out of the blue had these big ass boxes delivered to our house. Right? All the way from the west coast of Canada, all the way to the east coast of the United States of America. It happened that fast. Only, you know, it's a different situation, right? Truly Amazing Shelley, she managed to iron things out for herself and is chugging along and is making it in her country, even though her country is imploding on so many levels, right? But she's not on the cusp of starving, at least not at this point, right? Where the people we're dealing with here through the assistance of Lady Jane, I mean, that's their destiny unless there's intervention, right? And that intervention can't just come one time. It's you have to build up the family unit and help to build up even the community for that matter, right? Anyway.
So much, and I want to tell you this, people in the community, they are very happy. They are all telling me, may God bless you. So
there, you see, it's reaching the community. They're waking up, they're smelling the coffee, they got their spidey senses going, they're getting excited, they're getting motivated, right? Do you understand? That's good, because with those comes more energy, and with energy comes more productivity. So we don't want to lose that energy, that vibe, right? That frequency. Okay?
On their behalf, on their behalf, let me try to pass this. May God bless you, Mama Lynn. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. May God bless you so much. You have been a blessing in my life. A real blessing. And I have my friend here, so let me turn the camera the other side so that you can meet the woman just seated there.
If you have at least $50,000 saved for retirement.
Hold on a minute. She wants me to run these ads, but sometimes, Lady Jane, these ads go on for 30 minutes.
Retirement
Like,
right now in 2023.
Know.
Did
Like
you know that you can legally become your own bank?
They get stupid, these ads sometimes.
Peter. Hi.
See?
Hello.
I don't pay.
Peter,
I love Peter. Yeah, Peter reminds me of little Kyrie, and you know I love Kyrie. Yeah. See, I don't pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't have to look at ads, but I will make a donation to Uganda. Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Oh, I don't think that's Peter. Is that Peter?
The woman just seated there. A friend, Iwe, Peter.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Peter. Got different clothes on.
Hello, Peter. Hello.
Like, seriously, he looks like Kyrie.
Hello.
He's like the same size and everything. Yeah, look. Look what he's got in his hands. He's building. 2 years old and he's already building.
Peter, Gamba, hello. By the way, guys, Peter.
Like, he looks like my little grandson, Kyrie. He's so cute.
Likes camera like nothing. First time I thought that he was going to get scared. So he's definitely my friend now. Peter, come and give me a hug. Today I don't have a camera person.
Listen, they're still hammering in there.
Come and give me a hug. Come and give me a hug. Hug.
Or maybe it was the same day, I don't know. Anyway, she did 2 videos on this roof, because that sounded like a whole lot of banging to me.
Hug. Hug.
Yeah.
Take a peek. Hug. We look each other.
Look how happy he is.
Hug.
He's so happy.
So guys, this other one here, she's called Onomona Yaprosia. This other one is not a boy. Even me the first day I thought it's a boy, but it's a girl. How depressive. So this one is my friend. And another thing, guys, we have red eye outbreak here in you.
Who is this? I can barely see Lady Jane. Oh my lord. This is somebody else here.
Uganda and many people, they are sick actually. You come here, come and they see you. Come and they see you. Tell them hi. Bagambe ko hi. Bagambe ko mulimutia. Bagambe mwebale. Bagambe mulimutia.
Children are just playing up camera hams. Yeah, I told Lady Jane she needs to go out and do a little DJ thing and let the children grab onto the mic. Oh my god. It's so funny. Children love speaking on mics. And they're just little camera hams. Yeah, never fails. Never fails.
So I was just here with these kids, my friends. So Prasa, you come. Bagambe, how are you? Prasa, why are you tall? Where are you? Gamba, how are you? Bahuze ko. Prasa, buza kubantu nawe. Tell them.
You see, this is not a movie set. Right? You have to keep things in perspective here, Deb. This is not a movie set. They're not that sophisticated in Africa. You know? Like, you'd have to really go off to the extreme to do something like this as a scam. It's impossible. Well, nothing's impossible under the sun. But it's completely impractical. Right? I'm just saying.
How you guys doing? So guys, definitely.
That would be morally wrong. That'd be exploiting children for all the wrong reasons. Nobody's exploiting children here under any circumstances. This is just reality, right? Fact of life.
Me, I just love kids so much. So let me finish up so that we play after. So I have also to play with them, guys, because they. And another thing, I have to remind Mommy Lynn because of like money not being enough. So I didn't.
Okay, let me just something else she has to remind me of.
Because they. And another thing, I have to remind Mommy Lynn because of like money not being enough. So I.
Something not being enough, probably money. Again, $250. I'm surprised she even did what she did. Like, seriously. Okay, come on, people. I'd like to see you try and do it in your country if you live in the United States and Canada. No, 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 no. It ain't happening. Never mind having guys working on the job site with no shoes on. Oh my God, you'd have a whole bunch of city officials showing up like freaking, you know, what is that, bees on honey?
I didn't actually buy them toys as you directed me to do.
So she couldn't buy something because I give her suggestions, right? I give her suggestions what to buy. I mean, but ultimately I told her it's at your discretion because you're there. You know what's needed the most, right? And again, when you're starting from the bottom of the barrel and you're having to work your way up, well, because they are another thing I have to remind Mama Lynn because of, like, not being enough. Yeah, so she's talking about money. So I didn't actually buy them toys. Yeah. Because I keep insisting toys. But obviously that's the last on the list, right? And that's just me with toys, right? You know I like toys even though toys get on my nerves, right? They need a couple of, the little boys need some toy trucks and the little girls need some dolls or something. Anyway, actually buy them toys as you directed me to do. I had to squeeze and see what I can actually get better. Yeah. So let's dive in. Let us talk to our mom here. I call her mom and the sister because she still young. Okay. Anyway.
Can actually get better. So let's dive in. Let us talk to our mom here. I call her mom and the sister because she's still young. Let's go. So guys, the unexpected.
Okay. I did ask her to get food grade buckets. No point in donating bags of this and bags of that when it comes to like dry goods. Especially anywhere. It doesn't matter where you live, right? You want to keep the rodents out and you want to keep the bugs out. Right? So that's what that was for. So she did.
It happened again, including Peter is happy. So
see? He looks like Kyrie. Could be, I told Tisha, he looks like Kyrie. He could be Kyrie's twin. Seriously.
the happiness is on
He's so happy.
another level here.
So he brings happiness to a whole new level. Yeah.
Guys, watch the video till the end.
And then there's some extra food. Now keep in mind, she already bought the metal sheets, the nails, had to pay for transport, had to pay for the labor, 2 different sets of men, right? It was more than 2 crews, right? So you figure 2 men per crew, right? 2 men to dismantle everything and 2 men to put something up. So probably 4 men were more than likely involved. And they probably were all working with no shoes on and being happy to be working. I'm just saying. Like, right? That's why the community is getting happy. You help one, they're all starting to rise, right? Right? Prosper. But this is not prospering. We're just trying to bring them to a point where they're getting some confidence and some control over their life, where their lives start to stable out. We just want to help get them to the point where they're stable. And then once they're stable, then they can start being, you know, creative with entrepreneur activities, whether it's sewing with a sewing machine or goats with, you know, making soap, or who knows? I don't know. I can't choose. I can only offer advice and perhaps some financial assistance, and I can encourage other people to help financially. But Lady Jane, you're going to have to start putting something in the description box, I'm telling you, right? The people will respond better to it, because then they can wrap their heads around how much they might want to donate. I'm just saying.
subscribe, hit on that notification bell. So this is Mama Prosy, but people here call her Mama.
So she's got a big bag of something here. I don't know what this is. Product of, what does it say? Product of Uganda. Product of Uganda. Doesn't seem very heavy. She picked it up with one hand. Now, mind you, she's got some biceps on her arms. She's a strong woman. Right? Whatever it is, big. She's not struggling with it too much at this point.
Mama.
What is it? I don't know.
Mama. She has other children, but they're not here because of the whatever. So that is 10 kilogram of portion.
Of Porsche, 10 kilogram of Porsche. I don't know what that is. Maize. I think it's maize. So it's like a porridge, right? 10 kilograms is 22 pounds. Mm-hmm.
The other one which I brought was still there. And with this is 10 kilogram of rice also.
So another 22 pounds of rice.
The other one there is beans. I got for her smearing boy oil because she asked for it. Smearing oil. So more loving. Our well was soka. So there we have the match. So more lampola. The bed sheet was not in the list, but I just did.
Okay, you hear that? Yeah. That's because the mom was running around doing all that, and now the kids are doing it because everybody's all happy. Sleep experts. She got some sheets.
Decided to buy for her the bed sheet because she didn't have, and the food is already here working. There are some space.
Still working. I want to know if he's got shoes on. Oh wait, yes he does. He's got some kind of shoe on. Sandals. You can see. Different fella.
In there, so I got him since we communicated with him. So I wanted to find him here because there is.
So you hear that? Everybody's happy, man. This is not staged, Deb. This is not a movie set. This is real. Okay? People aren't going to go out of their way to do stuff like this to scam you. Right? I ain't looking for love in all the wrong places. That's not my mission. So what's this? When I'm talking water containers, I'm talking a 50-gallon drum. More than one. Especially if she gets goats.
A balance I had also to pay him. So glad.
And you also want where it can capture rainwater. Some way, somehow, depending on, right? I don't know what the quality of rain is like that out there, right? Out here it can get pretty bitter, but even still it's good for watering and stuff, right? So we're looking at some 50-barrel drums to capture water when it rains, most definitely. And then whatever else, I don't know where she gets her drinking water from. I doubt she drinks rainwater, but, you know, you'd have your 50-gallon drums for rainwater set up to catch the rainwater, fill up the, right? And then use it for the garden or whatever, washing, I suppose, maybe. And then she'd have to have something separate for her drinking water, because if that's all she's using, that's not enough. I don't know.
And there is the food storage container. I bought 4 of them. 2 I gave them to the other girl, and 2 plus this one, they're here.
Yeah, so she took 2 to the little 11-year-old girl, right? Check up on her, make sure she's okay. And then, yeah, so to keep, you know, the bugs and the rodents out, right? Gotta love those buckets.
I bought green color too, I think, 2. Then pink, like the same color, let me say, because they really look cute. I bought for her also cooking oil. Cooking oil, good area. Soap, cooking oil, Those are things I managed like to get for her, and she didn't have soap, so.
See, this boy here is a child, probably a boy. He's taller, right? So must be one of her other children. She doesn't, I don't know how many kids she has, but she has more than 2 or 3.
The other day I came here and that's the thing, and that's where she cooks. That's where she cooks, like Peter's brain on another level. Peter.
And there's Peter. Yeah.
You tell them Treyanziza. Gamba Treyanziza muna.
I'm telling you, he looks like my grandson.
Treyanziza, this is
Yes, he looks like Kyrie. He seriously looks like Kyrie. He's just a little darker than Kyrie. Right? Because he's under the sun all the time. And Peter's under the sun all the time, so he's a little darker. Right? And we've got the African hardcore genes in there, where Tisha's, a little mixed with a little white woman and a Jamaican dad. But they looked, and then of course there's Alex, the dad, right? And he's from, where's that place? St. Vincent. Alex, Tisha's hubby, right, is from St. Vincent, which is an island up by Venezuela. Yeah.
it means thank you.
But he does. He looks so much like Kyrie. He's so cute. I want him to have, I'm serious, I want him to have some dump trucks and stuff so he can pretend he's a construction building great things. Mm-hmm. See, here's another child. This child is a little taller, right? I think this is a new child that came in. I mean, it's her child, right? But I don't remember seeing this child before. But look how happy he is.
So Peter is happy today.
Where's she, little girl? I'm not sure.
I've actually brought for them like nothing to eat, but food and other stuff has really made them happy. And they're laughing at other kids, like they're telling them, for us, like, we're okay now.
You heard that. They're laughing to say, we're okay now. We're okay now. Yeah. Because they realized, right? They feel safe now. Don't have to worry.
So I think
at least for a little while. Right?
I want to enter inside also and see how they've worked inside. Let me enter.
Hold on a minute. Okay, Lady Jade, I let those ads run through. I sat here for however long, I think 3 of them went through. Back to back to back. Okay? Because that's your personal income. I know it's important to you, right? Okay? And again, you have to separate your personal, which I let the ads run through because I refuse to pay for a YouTube premium. Before I'd give anything to YouTube, when it came to moolah, I'd rather give it to you. Let's just put it that way, okay? So I let the ads run through. I will make an effort to have that happen more often so you get that little extra revenue on your personal account, right? Because that's important. Whereas there's that fine line where now you're dealing with the charitable part where you really need to take my advice and take the time to list some things down in the description box as to what you're buying, the poundage, and what it costs in Uganda funds as well as Canadian funds. I wouldn't worry about American funds because, first of all, I'm Canadian. It's coming from Canadian dollars. So just work with Uganda funds and Canadian dollars because if it's someone like truly amazing, Shelley, sitting up in the United States, I think it's $1.20. What was it? $1.25 on the dollar. So for every dollar Shelley spends American dollars, I'd have to spend $1.25 Canadian dollars, right? So if she was to do a $100 donation and I was to do a $100 donation in Uganda funds, I'd have to spend $125 where she'd have to just spend $100. Or something like that. I'm just saying. I don't know I don't know, right? But you get my point, right? It's $1.25 on the dollar of US for me. So I want to just point out here, look how happy this child's face is. I mean, look at the eyes. Talk about being bright-eyed. Extremely happy. Right?
I think I want to enter inside also and see how they've worked inside. Let me enter. They're entering things inside. Yeta munyumba, twala munyumba. Nekali, bring them inside. Okay? Nabuvero obubona mulete. This is Ama. She's going to tell us something after. Let her first put her things.
Okay. I'm really curious to know if she has a door. I really want to know.
Inside.
I mean, I could see her hanging a sheet down or a curtain or whatever, a piece of cloth to keep the flies out and stuff like that, to keep the heat out, whatever. I could see that. Maybe she closes the door at night. I don't know. If she doesn't have a door, it's kind of like on my wish list that she gets a proper door with a proper lock. I'm just saying, right? I mean, is it absolutely necessary where she lives? I don't know. But if thieves are roaming around in the neighborhood in the middle of the night, I know as a single mother with a bunch of kids in the house by myself with no lights on, I'd like to be able to lock myself in. So, we need to do some follow-up on that one. And this is the thing, Lady Jane. I know my son accuses me, oh, you have no friends. All you do is sit at home, do YouTube videos. Well, first of all, I'm a busy mom. I've been a workhorse for a long, long time, said it in other videos, right? I chose my family before I chose my friends or whatever, and I don't necessarily agree with politics between friends and whatever. I mean, with friends comes trouble sometimes, and when you're busy and you've got responsibilities, you pick and choose your priorities. But at the end of the day, I know Tisha has a lot of friends. Well, I don't know about a lot, but she's a little bit of a social butterfly, and I'm pretty sure that over the next, I would give it 6 months, Lady Jane. If we can just kind of chug along over the next 6 months, and I highly recommend that you open up a playlist and put these videos that you're doing into your playlist so they're easy to find. Don't forget to build up your description box in terms of your expenses and what you're buying and what it is, and the conversion rate between Uganda and Canadian dollars, so that when people are coming from my way, if Tisha says to so-and-so, hey, my mom and me were making donations to Uganda to this lady that's doing wonderful work for these families. Would you like to contribute? It wouldn't matter if it was $20 or $100. You don't know. They might say yes. And then, Tisha might come and say, here, Mom, here's an extra $100 from so-and-so, so-and-so, so everybody chipping in. And instead of Tisha doing a $100 donation, now she's doing a $200 donation because her friends chipped in 20 or 30 or 40 bucks each because they believe in the process. And they came to your channel, went into your playlist, and seen these videos to confirm that what Tisha is saying is true. So then they'd be more apt to contribute so that you can continue doing what you're doing. Right? And now whether I'm around or not remains to be seen. But at least, like you said already, the community is waking up. It doesn't start and stop. You want to start it and keep it going. And then eventually the community will end up finding a way to become more self-sufficient. For all you know, you might end up going into a dehydrating something, and as a community, under that kids comp program when I did that other video with me playing hardball. Right? Just saying. But find out if there's a door on there. And if there isn't, find out how much it would cost to put one on with a proper lock and key.
Young Kugambe, I have to explain for her, she might not know the use of obo container. Wakuteka ko emmere. Oteka ko ebijanjalo, wataako muchere oba kawunga, so that anti kati wana amazzi we gatonya gasobola kugwa mu bintu kyova nakugulide ebyo ebintu ate mami yeyagambye munkugulire ebyo ebintu ebyo byakuteekako emmere. I bought for her also salt. Hold here for me. Kwatirako wano. Kwata mpa omunyo oguli munda. I bought for her also salt, but I was forgetting. Big one, actually, one only, but big.
Now, I see this piece of fabric here, and I noticed that one of her children in the last video was wearing something that was made, I think, from the same type of fabric. So somebody is already attempting to sew things. So that's good, because the interest is there. Yep.
Big, I bought for her salt. This is the salt, big. This one will take her for some time. Twala munyumba. This one is called the process, not a boy, guys. Even me, I thought.
Okay, so she's a little girl. Yeah. Yeah, she's a little girl. We need to get her some earrings. Or something, a little headband with a little bow on top. There you go. That's interesting.
She was a boy. She's a girl. So, guys, that's actually definitely what I managed to get for her.
Okay, so that's what she managed to buy extra after she paid the men their labor costs, had the delivery of the materials, right? Had to pay for the materials, right? The poles, the sheeting, the nails, 2 different types, had to go back and buy more nails, probably some sort of a sealant or something in there. I asked Lady Jane to keep an eye on making sure nothing leaks. She said she went back, touched base with the mom. So far, at this point, nothing leaks. But then I reminded Lady Jane that she is the boss, so that if there's a leak, the men have to go back and fix the leak, right? Just saying. Right? And I told her, you make a good boss. Because she was on the site all day. You know? Welcome to Mama Lynn's world. Doing a 12-hour shift. Don't eat all day. But it gets better. Not only does your stamina get stronger, but, you get wiser, right? And, there's times when it's really fun. I'm just saying.
I would have bought for her more than that, but coming here, you need transport. Going back, you need
Yes, and that's where it comes in with your expenses, right? So there is a fine line in there when you're doing your books that you take a little off for your expenses. Try and keep your expenses as low as you possibly can. But at some point, there's always some kind of expenses. The $50,000 that the foundation that I worked on, that I founded, owes me $50,000 on the books in terms of the expenses. But trust me, I spent more than $50,000 and I just didn't write everything down, right? But, I was trying to do something different than you. I was trying to get Canada and the United States to come together as 2 countries, new nations, unity, 2 countries coming together with, groups of individuals between the 2 different countries to make individual communities better for everybody living in the community, as well as to do outreach to other countries as the prosperity within Canada and the United States increased. But I don't know what I was thinking. Right? It was obviously too big to bite off and chew, right? But that's okay. Life is life. There's no guarantees in life. Although, don't close the door on yourself, Lady Jane. Africa is a big country as a whole. Continent. It's not a country. It's a big continent. There's a lot of countries in Africa. Africa is your playground. One Africa, one tribe.
Everything here is not easy, guys. So, God willingly, this floor, if we can.
Okay, so this is a door. This must be a door here. So there is a door. So it looks like there is a door. She must just hang that there during the day to, you know, keep the dust out, keep flies out, keep the heat out, whatever. So maybe a door is not an issue. The issue is the dirt floor. That's the issue. Right? So I'm gonna help her with that.
Like, I tried just to
But, you know, it all depends, too, how much it is, because, you know, I'm with limited myself, right? And that's why, Lady Jane, you need to put this stuff in description boxes so that, you know, it's as plain as day, so that people will seriously considering chipping in.
interact, like to find their opinion and the opinion of people who constructed and building. I was just asking because this is how it looks like we can just put cement.
So she's talking about putting cement. Now the thing about cement is it will help to cool off the inside. And because they're in Africa and it gets really hot, I guess in whenever seasons it's hot, you know, it gets so sweltering in there that a cement floor would probably help to just keep it cool. But then when it gets cold, you know, it's going to get cold in there and she's not going to have no heat. So it's a hit and miss, right? Unless they put something over the cement like a vinyl or something, I don't know.
Oh, so let me ask you.
Like, I don't know how long it stays hot for and if it ever gets cold. Like, it probably gets real cold at night, depending on the type of season, right?
Fundi, ogambe mbuwaneno cement genda bags meka. Yeah, 4 bags. Here we can use 4 bags of cement.
4 bags of cement. Is she talking about cementing the floor or doing the cracks?
The wheelbarrow for sand. 12 wheelbarrows.
So this man has sandals.
Kawambo. And another thing, guys, what I was forgetting, this lady really needs mattress. She really needs mattress, like the mattress which she has. She has 2, one for the kids and one for her. But due to rain, before the iron sheets were put, like, what can I say? The rain has really made the mattress to get rotten. So anyone out there who can actually buy for her mattress, we shall appreciate so much. And if you do that, the accountability will be given to you in the description box below. So I am just here, nothing much. This is where she cooks. But since we removed those all the iron sheets from up, I wanted, like, we put here the...
So she's going to put a firewall in there to prevent sparks from flying and catching the house on fire, right? So it's called a firewall, right? She's going to use the old iron sheets for that. That's a really, 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 really good idea, right?
We put for her here the kitchen, just simple kitchen. This very fundi will put. Fundi, ida. No jokoni. So we had already started the thing for the kitchen here. We want to whatever for her the kitchen, but everything here needs money, guys. So the iron sheets, we are going to use the old iron sheets. So we need to just maybe add in the...
Okay, Lady Jane, everything needs money. You're stressing out over money. That's why you need to write in the description box approximately how much these things are going to cost so that people can wrap their head around it, think about it, go to sleep on it, right? Think about it when they're sleeping, get up, mull it over for a little while, and then perhaps just wake up one day and say, to heck with it, I'm contributing. Okay, if you don't give them something to think about, something to wrap their head around, they're not going to do it, Lady Jane. They're just not. especially in this day and age with everybody stressing out over money, right? But, you know, a 20 here, a 30 there, a 100 here, 200 there, it can add up. And it looks like you can go a long way with what little bit you do get, right? So create a playlist. Put these specific videos that you're doing into the playlist so that people can find them easily, and it helps to separate your charitable work from your personal work, right? Whatever that personal work is. Right now you're just going on talking about whatever you're talking about. But make it easy for people to find these videos and, you know, give them something more to think about in terms of, well, if you're looking at a bag of rice, this is how much it costs in Canadian funds, which equals that amount in Uganda funds, and so on, right? And you can say, for this video, this is what I spent, put your dollar, these were your expenses, you had to pay for transportation, that is an expense, whatever, right? Do what you bought as your subtotal, then put your expenses on the bottom in terms of you had to pay for transportation, your labor, and then your total, right? And then people watching, they'll read that and they'll think, well, I can't afford that, but I might be able to afford a bag of beans because this is how much it costed, right? And then maybe they'd be more apt to volunteer and donate to you. But to protect yourself, you have to keep records of everything. Even if you're not getting the receipts, you still write it down. And if you have to find an organization that supports what you're doing and is willing to put their name on it, so that if the government of Uganda wants to start charging you taxes for all this money that's coming in from wherever it's coming in, you have the proof to prove that you didn't keep it for yourself, and therefore it becomes tax deductible. But technically you have to be a registered society for that, of some kind. So, if you're not a registered society yet, then really seriously consider what I'm telling you.
So that, because you cannot cook in this house, guys. You can't cook in this house with children. You can't, because it is like, let me say, one bedroom or one room. The house is only one room. And at the same time, you have children in the house. So what she does, she cooks. It is already 5 p.m. She's already cooking supper. She cooks so early, so that she enters early. You know, also with the thieves. And since people have started even seeing her deceiving things, anything can happen. So I told her to always enter early. So she uses firewood to cook.
So theft is a problem for whatever reason. We have it everywhere in the world. So it's nothing new and unique. However, I think the mom and the children deserve to have some sort of lighting on the inside, regardless. So we need to throw in some solar powered lanterns, to which that was recommended by Lady Jane, because I guess you can buy those there somewhere. I don't know how much they are, but that's something else to add in. So that would fall under the wish list, right? To which I will copy and paste my last wish list, put it into this description box, and add in lanterns, but I don't know how much they are. I have no clue.
She uses firewood to cook, guys. So that's my opinion, and I'm also going to try to interact with her. But another thing before I end this video, please guys go and support Mama Lynn from Canada. Her YouTube channel goes by the name New Nationals Unit.
Lady Jane, New Nations, N-A-T-I-O-N-S. Nations, 2 countries, Canada and the United States, coming together to make change for all communities within the 2 countries, so that we could rise together and prosper, and then help other countries in need as we help our own. Nations, United States of America is a nation. Canada is a nation. Uganda is a nation. New nations unity.
That is her YouTube channel. Go and subscribe and leave a comment down there that Jane Model sent you to subscribe to her YouTube channel. And another thing, guys, go and watch her video. She has a beautiful, amazing video. Like literally, this lady is changing people's life. Just go and watch her video and subscribe.
See, I'm changing people's lives here, people, but I can't do it by myself, and I shouldn't have to. And Lady Jane certainly can't do it by herself, and she shouldn't have to either, right?
Her YouTube channel, I'm going to leave the link.
And this is not a movie set. Because if it was, it would be $1 million production. Right?
I'm going to leave her channel name in the description. So thank you so much for watching. It's time for me to interact with this lady. I want her to tell us how she feels after the house having the new iron sheet. She has gotten some food and some stuffs. It is her time now. So these were the clothes for her kids, but the water and so on spoiled them. So I think she'll just wash them maybe. So
I'm Nichols.
Okay, hold on. Lady Jane, I'll just turn off the camera. I'll let the ads run through so that you get your revenue on them. Hopefully YouTube will treat you fairly. Right? Hold on a minute. See? That was some sort of gambling freaking ad. Right? Lady won some money or something. I don't know. Doing something with casino or something. Why am I not surprised? Whatever.
For her kids, but the water and so on spoiled them. So I think she'll just wash them maybe. So guys, the lady is just saying thank you. So I just want to interact her. Oh, what did you I'm just asking, how does she feel after getting the new iron sheets? The food has come. Even last time I also brought for her food. So what did you?
First time she came, it was just a little leftover. It was just a small food hamper from the first donation that I made, which the majority of that food went to the little girl, the 11-year-old with 2 siblings that could, maybe tide her over for a month and a half, 2 months, where, there wasn't that level of worry for the child, the 11-year-old, as to how she was going to feed her siblings, right? And then a little left over as a food hamper for somebody in the surrounding community to whom this mother was the recipient to that.
She said she's feeling so happy, like very, very happy. Kakati, oyine chilala like shoguliro yagala tukukolere nga chikuluma. So I also identified. I also identified that problem of the mattress. She really needs the mattress like to sleep on. I identified that.
Okay, you see, this is where, how can I say this? I understand the need, but I'm on a fixed income myself with a high debt load and other responsibilities that I need to tend to that are high ticket cost items just because of my type of economy, right? I can only wheel and deal, stick out my neck so much. I can, basically what I'm doing is my bills are staying where they're at. They're not dropping in any kind of capacity because, I'm sending this way. Right? So that removes a bit off my bills. But I can manage at this point. So this is why, I hear what she's saying, but at the end of the day, I can't necessarily fulfill every single wish the mom has. Not to mention any other wish that's going to come in as we go along. Right? And that's why we need to encourage other people to help. And that, again, Lady Jane, is why it's important that you start listing something in your description box so that people have something to think about and mull it over, and then perhaps make a decision to further donate towards whatever it is that you're doing wherever you are while you're doing it, as you go along doing what you do that is separate from your personal life. Okay? Can't stress it enough. Put this in an independent, put these the 4 videos, start with the 4 videos, right? A surprise from Canada, the next one, the one with the roof, and this one. Start a playlist just with those 4, and then just keep adding on as we continue to do what we're doing, and hopefully through that process, more people will somehow, some way jump on to help you, right? So that when I really can't help you no more because of my circumstances, you'll still have a support system to do what you do. That's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay? Get you to a point where it's hard to say, no, I can't help you with your mattress because I'm broke now. Right? Especially if I'm thinking about helping with the floor. So we need somebody else to help with the mattress, because after I'm done the floor, I might not be able to do anything else because I have other things I have to take care of first. Otherwise, I become looking like maybe I'm negligent to my responsibilities, right? So, I'm just saying.
Problem also, and this lady even lacks plates in the house. If we can get for her mattress plates, maybe the floor we can work upon it later, but it's also necessary anyway.
That's like high pressure sales, right? Who are you talking to? Are you talking to me, Lady Jane? Wanting me to dig deep into my pocket? Or are you talking to your subscribers knowing that they're not going to dig deep in their pocket and give you anything at this point? And if they do, it's nothing in comparison to what you've been doing for the last 2 times since you've been dealing with me. Not that I've given you very much, because I haven't. Because what I have given you, though, you've done a lot with. All right? Don't misconstrue what I'm saying here.
So anyone out there who can buy for us now?
Yeah, for anyone out there. Well, if I don't do another donation, it would be interesting to see if somebody else will come in and take my place. But I don't think so. And that's the problem. And that's why I've been giving Lady Jane ideas and advice. Right? To try and work around that and encourage other people to help. Regardless of where they're situated.
Mattress, plates, small things, and the toys for the children. These kids need to play, man. So I was like, should I leave the blanket and the bed sheet and I buy for the kids' toy? I was like, no. I could also try to put myself in her shoe, and that's exactly what I did. And I got what I could. I tried my best. The house is standing, and guys, I don't have much. Jango we yanze waneno oba yanze nyo. And she feels like she's literally happy. The woman who used not to be happy. Even today you find when she has gone to the garden.
Mama kuyanzinza baba kuyanzinza sechiyo. Kuyanzinza mukama abomugisa.
Mommy, she was saying, Mommy, thank you so much. May God bless you. That's
where you
have gotten the money to buy food. May God give you back. Press, come here. Come here. You don't. So,
I cut back on my bills. That's all. Right? You know what I'm saying? But at some point, I have to play catch up, okay? And I've got other things I have to take care of. So one day at a time.
I even don't know the language of this place, so I'm just trying. Me, I'm a Luo by tribe, guys. So people here speak different language.
Yanzinza leetaga omupoliso sawaani engoye ebaafu domolo engaito fooko.
So guys, since the camera wanted actually to fall, she was saying she wants mattress, she wants some clothes. Like, by the way, I don't know how to collect this woman, guys, but she wanted also some clothes like for the kids. Though I wanted to get some clothes for the kids, but guys, construction here in Uganda is really expensive. Next time better. So guys, continue supporting me financially by subscribing, liking. Bye guys.
Bye.
Peter, tell people bye. Hey Peter.
See you.
A lot of noise in the background. So, that is it. Okay, I'm going to add this in at the end of this video because I feel that this is important. But before I get on to what I want to say here, I just want to explain to Lady Jane. Do you see what's going on here, Lady Jane? This camera, it's a camcord, right? I bought it used off of Facebook. Anyway, it's got its settings where it takes still pictures for whatever reason. Usually centers itself around faces. It was the way the camera was programmed, whoever owned it before me, and I don't know how to get rid of it. So anyway, what happens is, do you see that's video, picture. So what I do is I come in and I start taking them out, and if there's one in here that I might like to use for a thumbnail, I keep, especially for BitChute, because I always have to put some kind of a picture up on BitChute, right? Or I will, okay, either or. So anyway, I'm now removing because sometimes I get like, oh, you don't even know, it's such a hassle. But besides that point, I have to remove, see, this is a video. Where am I? Oh my God, my eyes are going cross-eyed here. Oh, okay, you can see better than me, Lady Jane. So you can see, right, that shows me that that's a video. These are all pictures, right? These are videos. Do you see the line? That tells me that's a video. I have to remove the picture. That's a video, right? There's the lines. Anyway, as I'm going through the videos, I looked at a couple of these pictures because I'm trying to decide which picture I want to use, maybe for my thumbnail, right? And so I looked at this picture. This is a cute little guy. And this is Peter. He's so cute. Peter's captured my heart, for sure. He could be Kyrie's twin. If I could find my mouse, life would be better. Come on, I just seen, there we go. So you see, there's a picture of Peter. Do you see how cute he is? He's so cute. He's just a little cutie pie. And honest to God, he could be Kyrie's twin, only just Peter's a little darker. So, again, you can see better than me. All right, now, if you look at his eyes, they seem to be working good, okay? He's looking in this direction. There's no problems here. Oops, sorry. Okay, if you can see, his eyes are looking in this direction. Everything seems to be fairly aligned. Pretty good, okay? So anyway, as I'm looking, before I'm deleting, right, trying to decide if I want to use this picture as my thumbnail, or there was another one here. I got it right here. I saved it. Well, I haven't saved it, but I was looking at it. Lady Jane, this is where you can see better than me. Okay, I don't know if this is my imagination station, but sometimes the camera can pick up on things. Okay, and I want you just to make a mental note of this. Okay, this child may need to go see an eye specialist or an eye doctor or something. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Because if you look at the eyes, this child is looking straight into your camera. Okay, But this one here is wandering up and out. And not only is it wandering up and out, okay, we just seen Peter's eyes. Both his eyes were going in the right direction. Everything was basically uniform, right? Where this child eye, there's something wrong. First of all, if you look at the pupil, well, not the pupil, the iris. Okay, if you look at the iris, okay, do you see how it's nice and round here? Okay. Now compare it to this one. This one is losing its shape. It's not looking directly at the camera. Plus the iris itself is larger. And you can tell because look at the white in here. Do you see? Look how much white is there compared to here. This here is a normal eye. This one, there's something wrong, Lady Jane. So the next time you go visit the family, you might want to take a boo and just, I don't know, maybe take your finger and just have the child follow your finger and kind of pinpoint where you think there might be a problem with the child's eye. Why? It's hard to say. Is this an injury? Is this something to do with birth? Because sometimes people are born with eye problems, right? Amari's eye, but Amari has cerebral palsy, though, right? His eyes are cross-eyed, okay? And he gets one that goes like this, and then, right? But that's because of the cerebral palsy. This child does not appear to have cerebral palsy. Now, keep in mind, cerebral palsy can be very, very mild, right? And it usually affects one side of the body. This would be the left side. This looks like that this is the left eye. So there's something going on with the left eye. I do believe that. Because the pupil is larger. Not the pupil, the iris, the whole iris itself is larger than this eye. And not only that, but the shape. You can see it clearly, Lady Jane. So you need to make inquiries about having this eye checked somehow, some way. I don't know what you got for healthcare services, what kind of doctors you got, but you need to check and make sure that this isn't going to get worse. And you got to kind of figure out why it's like that. Was she born this way? Maybe she got injured, right? I'm just saying. And of course you wouldn't necessarily notice it because, you don't pay attention to these things. But for as blind as I am, sometimes I can see things, and there's definitely a huge difference here, Lady Jane. Okay? I'm making it so that you can really see it. It's the left eye. Something's going on with the little girl's left eye. It even looks... The eye itself, I'm telling you, Lady Jane, is bigger. The eyeball is bigger than... This one is inflamed. There's something inflaming this child's eye. Okay? You need to get this eye checked. Alright? So find a way. Find out how you can do that for this little girl. Okay? I'm going to leave it on that. Okay, I think this is a different picture. You can see the big difference. Okay? There's something going on with this eye. But this is a different picture. Because my camera, it just does that, right? This one's a normal eye. Something is agitating this eye. This one's inflamed. This one's swollen. There's something going on the inside of the child's eye. Okay, so here's another one. There's little Peter down there. Okay? See? Looking straight into the camera. This one is veering off that way. Something's going on with it. Right? It's inflamed. And the iris is not round. It's going like this. Like, kind of like on a V. Where this one is rounded. This eye is not inflamed, but this one is. Why? What happened? Maybe she needs eye drops or something. Maybe she needs a little bit of medicine or something. All right. Does it bother her? Oh, what's going on? Okay, so I'm not trying to scare you here because people do have eye issues where one iris is larger than another. This is a different picture, okay? That's what my camera does. You can see it again. It's like there's no denying it. Hopefully my camera is not getting all funny looking. All right. Yeah.